This is B. Nagaraju, contract lecturer in botany from Government Degree College, Kurutla. So today my topic name is Xerophytes ecological adaptation. Now see the xerophyte plant adaptation introduction. Any characteristic of an organism or its part which enabled it to survive in its own particular habitat is called adaptation. Any characteristic of an organism or its part which enable it to survive in its own particular habitat is called adaptation. And it is also defined as adaptation is the evolutionary process whereby an organism becomes able to survive and reproduce in its habitat or habitats. Adaptation is nothing but any changes in the structure or function of an organism or any parts of it that result from natural selection and by which the organism becomes better fitted to survive and multiply in its environment. So now see the some xeric adaptation, so or xerophyte adaptation. So water availability in the soil is very low than the requirement of plants. So the temperature is very high, so humidity is less, which results in the loss of water. And arid dry area with low rainfall and hot and dry climate is responsible for the increasing evaporation and transpiration. So all these environment conditions are responsible for drought in the habitat. So these are the some points of xeric adaptation. And now see the drought escaping plants. So they are called as epimerals. Drought escaping plants, epimerals. So these are also called as drought avoiders. Avoiders which have a very short life or short life cycle. So they are annuals to avoid the drought. For example, Tribulus terrestris and Argemone mexicana and Cassia tora. So these are the some ephemeral plants. So these ephemeral life cycle is very short and they are annuals. So to avoid the drought and drought tolerate or enduring plants. So they are called as succulent plants. So they store large amount of water in different organs of their body, and so they becomes fleshy and they are called as succulent plants. Succulents. The stem succulents store water in the stem, so it becomes fleshy, green, and photosynthetic leaves and are reduced to spine. The photosynthetic leaves are reduced to spine. For example, Opentia. In leaf succulents store water in leaves and they become sticky, fleshy as in aloe and Portulaca. Aloe and Portulaca. So these are the Opentia and aloe, Portulaca are the good example of succulent plants. And now see the non-succulents are drought resistant resisting plants. Drought resisting plants are non succulent plants. So these plants are the true xerophytes. So these non-succulent plants are true xerophytes. So they resist to the drought by showing external and internal adaptation to dry conditions. For example, calotropis and casuarina and nerium and acacia. So these are the good example of true xerophytes or non-succulent plants or drought resistant plants. So some see the now see the some plants of morphological adaptation of xerophytes. So first one we see the root. The root system is well developed and profusely branched. And next one we see the stem. The stem is very hard and woody, either aerial or subterranean, and sometimes covered with wax. Sometimes covered with wax. And next we see the leaves. Leaves are thick and leathery and tough and shining in nerium, or may be thick or fleshy or succulent in we see the aloe. And next we see the reproduction. In the xerophytes, sexual reproduction is common, and some xerophytes reproduce vegetatively and some by dominant buds, for example cocktail plants. So these are the some morphological adaptation of xerophytes. So these are the some true xerophytes. For example, this is the Opentia. So this is the Phyllocladode. It is a green colored and fleshy, and it is a the leaves are uh, form as a uh, the leaves are forms the green color leaves are form as a spines. And this is the uh, euphorbia plant. So these are the flowers and leaves, and this is the tubular spines. So this is the aloes. So it is the aloes leaves is the succulent leaves. It's a green color and fleshy. So this is the aloe plant, and this is the euphorbia, and this is the opentia, and this is the nerium. Nerium is a very uh, good example of a xerophytic plant. So the leaf is very thinny and leathery, and it is green colored, and it's looking very shine. So now see the some anatomical adaptation of xerophytes. So in that anatomical adaptation, first one we see the roots. So root cap is present. Root hairs are large in number, and conducting tissue is and xylem and phloem is developed very well, and thick cuticle is present, and which protects internal tissue from dry and hot soils. So these are the anatomical feature or adaptation features of xerophytes in roots. And next one we see the stem. And stem in epidermis is thick walled and lignified. And some plant shows the wax deposition on the surface of the epidermis, and even the uh, hypodermis. In succulent stem, the thin walled parenchymaceous cells stored excess amount of water, mucilage and latex. Is called water storage tissue. In woody xerophytes produce very well developed cork in the stem, And mechanical tissues and vascular tissues, and vascular tissues are well developed in xerophyte plants. So these are the some anatomical adaptation of xerophytes. And now see the some important characters xerophytes lives. So in that xerophytes lives the epidermis with thick cuticle, epidermal cells are thick walled, and multi-layered epidermis is present on both upper and lower surface of leaves. And sunken stomata, these are the very important, are present, and stomatal opening is covered with a number of hairs, presence of many layered palisade tissue. And mesophyll is compact with reduced intercellular spaces. In succulent leaves, spongy parenchyma and water storage tissue stores water. And thick-walled sclerenchyma cells are present, seen in the hypodermis, for example pinus needle. And well-developed vascular and mechanical tissues are present. So these are the some anatomical features or some adaptation in xerophyte leaves. So this is the anatomy of TS transverse section of nerium leaf. So this is the cuticle layer and upper epidermis. So this is a well developed palisade parenchyma and the well developed vascular tissues, xylem, phloem, and spongy parenchyma. This is the sunken stomata are seen in that. So these are the sunken stomata, and in that sunken stomata have hairs, and this is the lower epidermis. So this is the anatomical uh, characters of nerium, xerophytic characters of nerium leaf. And now see the some physiological adaptation of xerophytes. The stomata of these plants opening during night hours and remaining closed during the day to prevent water loss by reducing evaporation of rate. So this is the first physiological adaptation of xerophyte plants. And next one we see the xerophytes have very high osmotic pressure of the cell sap, and which increase the turgidity of the cell sap. So the plants control the excessive loss of water during transpiration by reducing total transpiring surface. And the xerophytes have greater potentiality to resist wilting. Xerophytes have great potentiality to resist wilting. And the protoplasm in these plants is less viscous and more permeable and resistant to heat. And the plants may secrete resin, waxes. So, and on their surface, these plants may secrete resins, waxes on their surfaces, and which reduce evaporation. So these are the some important point for the adaptation of xerophytes. So thank you for watching this video.